Today I am going to show you how to take a $3 Dollar Tree board, use the designer finishes from DecoArt, and we are going to take this surface and make it into this. The first thing we want to do is we're going to take some little adhesive coaster feet or cabinet bumpers, and we're going to put these up in our corners. I want them painted with our base color, so we'll put these in each of the four corners. And also wipe off your board, just occurred to me. There could be sawdust and things that would prevent your feet from sticking. My experience with these little feet is that they're very, very adhesive. And now we are going to go on. We're going to use number 36 in our paints, but this is a DecoArt product video. So the DecoArt number for this paint color is number 68. And so I'm just going to do a prime coat just to get the board based. And I think we'll go foam brush. I've got these new wide foam brushes that have a really good body. Don't want everything just sticking out through the metallic paint. That'll be our base coat next. And then you just base around, get your sides, and get it dry. Next, we are going to use our Extreme Sheen. This is in the kit. These 4 items came in the kit. Extreme Sheen in tin. So this will be like a galvanized effect. And then a texture sand, a asphaltum, which is a lovely color, and a Georgia clay. So all of these came in that kit. It's just lovely. They have like 8 of those kits. It's really nice. Got my paint all shook up, and I'm going to use the feather brush to apply with the idea that I want it to be somewhat not solid. And I'm second guessing this. I think I'm gonna want it more solid. And then I'll streak on top. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a solid coat. Okay, so all things texture. I've blowed this dry. It's just a little bit tacky. I think it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a little bit more of the paint. This dries really slow, which I'm liking right now because I want to play with it just a little bit. So I'm going to get 1/2 of this done. Try a little trick. All right, I'm going to spray this side with 100% rubbing alcohol. And we're going to see what it does. Well, we'll see what it does. In the meantime, I'll get the other side done. Okay, now we let this dry until it's completely dry. Paint is a remover, or alcohol is a remover for paint. So sometimes it's a really good idea to let it extra dry. All right, I want that pitting technique to show just a little bit extra. So I'm dragging in a little bit of black. And I just want to give it one little speck of darkerness. Maybe one more speck. Gonna go with our wide foam brush again. Okay, and then working quickly, we're going to go ahead and spritz here and there. Okay, I popped in with a little bit with the bottom of my applicator and just sprinkled some bigger drops on here just to see if I could get some more irregularities. The next thing we're gonna do, I'm still just slightly tacky. This paint seems to take a little bit longer to dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and use our stencil. What I've done with the stencil is I have this tall porch sign that has a monogram on here. And what we say when you have anything that you get with a monogram, like StudioR12 does personalized stencils, we have a whole category of them. So if you need monograms, family names, that kind of stuff, save all of your monograms because then you can use them on other projects. So this is nothing like a 6 foot tall porch sign. This is actually a growth chart. I think I'm gonna get it one more dry just because I don't want my stencil lifting my paint. Okay, time for our stencil. Now, the easiest thing for this to do with this would be to go ahead and trim off the top, and I think I am going to do that. It actually has an etched line, so you can see exactly where to trim. And I think I like this side better. It has more stuff going on. Okay, we are going to texture through our stencil using Liquitex Basic Acrylics and black paint. Okay, so we are going to go straight over our stencil with our paste. Don't let it get too runny. Okay, and now we lift straight up. And ta-da, that looks like burnished, chiseled metal. I love that. Looks so good. All right, while I am waiting for my paste to dry, I'm going to do a few more techniques. We are going to go with our black and we're going to thin it to very, 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 very thin, like ink. And I'm using the White Wonder brush. It's on our website, StudioR12.com. They're really hard to find. I discovered this brush years ago during a seminar. We're going to get it very thin, and I'm going to go ahead and pop off the extra big spatters. And now I'm going to, just for strategic effect, give some little spatters here and there. Every time you load, offload. And now I'm going to go for a couple of Mondo big guys. Come on. Add a little bit more water so that they'll release. All right, I'm not going to offload. Okay, and now we go away and we let it dry for about 20 minutes. When we are painting rust, what I like to do is I like to have a fade up and not just a sudden, like here's a pile of rust. So I'm gonna put my dome brush in dry paint, not the watery part, but the dry part. And I'm just gonna give some indications of some weathering. Gonna just anchor in. It doesn't have to be even everywhere. Can have some heavier, some lighter, but definitely fade it out. Always pull towards you and don't try to push away. It's much easier to control your paint. So now I'm going to pull in some places that I might like to have some rust. And then I'm going to drip down some that I might like to have some rust on. I think of rust, or the black underneath the rust, as like a serving platter for the black, for the rust. Well, if we stopped right here, we would have a fantastic old sheet metal look. So this would be a perfect place to even just stop and pause. So now we're going to get out our George clay, part of our kit. And we're going to mix it with our texture sand. How fun. Okay, and I want to use my dirty brush because I think it'll tone that Georgia clay. All right, now we're going to put on some rust. Just going to stipple here and there, and I am going to mix in a little bit of that black. Don't want to make it too even, like not the same. Okay, and then what I want to do is get rid of that brush, and maybe we just pick up a little bit and we scooch it here and there in a chunk that we draw down and along. Now, if you're in there cringing about how bright this is, we have a secret weapon, and it's coming up. All right, I'm going to take my water bottle with just a little bit of water in it, and I'm going to mix a orangey brown color that I like. Be right about there. And then I'm going to stick my palette knife in there. Now what we want to do is make the paint drip. This is gonna be tricky to show, so I'm gonna attempt to do it upside down and backwards, and then I'm gonna turn it around to me so I can see it. But we're gonna spray water. And then we're gonna spray some rust. And it is important to let it drip. If you think something is not pretty, go give it a little blot or give it a little bit more of a spritz to encourage it to spread out a little bit more. Stick it right over that R. And now I'm going to lay it down so it doesn't go everywhere. And then we're going to go into some more of that alcohol. And I'll get that dry. And I'm going to blot off just ever, let's see, what do I want to use? Mop. Break those lines up just ever so much. They can still be there, but just background. And then you wipe your mop off on a paper towel. If your alcohol squeeze starts going back into its position, re-squeeze it. And then hit the blow dryer. Now we repeat the same step, but we go upside down. And I'll do this one facing me. Okay, so now we need to get rid of obnoxious orange, and that's gonna be, I think, our final step. So now we take out just the brown, and we're going to liquefy the brown. I think I'll take a feathering brush, some water, and just wash that. It's probably like 70% water. And now we're gonna go over our orange. Maybe we pick up a little bit of darker brown. Oh, that's a wet spot. That's okay, we're gonna call those happy accidents. I'm remembering that my asphaltum, is that my asphaltum? Yeah, asphaltum is a sheer color. So that is why it's not covering very much, but that's exactly why you want to use it. So I'm going back in and backing it off, but then using my fingers to pop the top area out. And so that's settling that down. Probably do one more coat. You could smear some into your, oh, I could smear some of our rust color in there, into your board, but don't stop suddenly. You want to have a flow. And now let's take a look. We're still a little bit bright. And I've gone to no water over here. It's just that, I'm gonna have to dry that a little bit more. It's that sheer. Okay, I think we're about there on the upper part. Nope, that one, I gotta get that one spot dry. Okay, and I think my bolts need a little bit of black under them. So I'm just kind of side loading that brush just to see if I can make the bolts pop off. That makes that much better. And then we could pick up a little bit of our shiny Sheen. Very impressed with this product, by the way, the DecoArt Extreme Sheen. I would get every bottle of this if I was using metallics. Okay, and then we'll give that just a little bit of a highlight. Just to give it some depth. Okay, I think a little bit more blending into our orange. Just fade it in just slightly. Ha! I'm having an argument with this guy. And I'm going to need just a little bit more brown. So the brown acts exactly like makeup or some kind of blending, because it just applies just a soft, subtle color over that orange. And then by layering it, it makes it perfect. So we want to put a little picture holder. This is going to be, you could put a board on here that has some black chalkboard, and you could make it just like a note section. We're going to put a family photo. This would be the best gift for grandparents, dads, uncles, brothers, that kind of thing. And it's $3, guys. So make sure that if you like this content, make sure that you like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things. Check us out on Facebook, and make sure to go to StudioR12.com. Okay, so we're going to use the measure T-square to get to the middle. So this is 11 inches, so we want to go 5.5. It's right in line with our little R right there. And hot glue. I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. This was the DecoArt Designer Finishes in the rusted metal, and I think that it did a fantastic job. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. See you in the next video.